Hello whiskey fanatics, this is WhiskyWhistle and I'm your host Mark. Whiskey review number 75 today, and we're going to be looking at the BenRiach 17-year-old Septendecim. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation, but that's the best I can do. And that's this one right here in the middle. The Septendecim is a 17-year-old heavily peated whiskey. And in fact, it is as peaty in terms of the ppm, the parts per million of peat induced peat created flavors. This is the same level of peating as an Ardbeg or a Lagavulin, and so on, Lefroig. Okay, so 55 ppm apparently, but it's a different peat. This is from Speyside. The peated malt may come from one of its sister distilleries, which I believe is the Glendronach, and anyway, so a little bit different. Let's get this one poured right away, shall we? I'll set that aside right there. This was a lovely little gift box that I received from the importer, Golden Blue, here in Korea. Okay, we'll pour that. And if you didn't notice, I've also got the BenRiach glass, the Glencairn glass to go with. Very special. Let's just wait for the right picture to roll through. Might as well, while it's too long to wait. Here we are. Okay. Just about half, a little bit less. Oh, yes. Peat. Hello, Pete. I'm leaving about half of this behind because I want to try this together with a good friend of mine named Joel, who loves peaty whiskey. 17 years old. We should let this sit for just a little while, but I want to experience this nose right now because quite often peat will dissipate with time. This is a very different peat than what you have on Islay, like Lagavulin. This is much more earthy. Burnt leaves. A little bit of the oil and rock that they lay down for temporary roads in Canada. A little bit of that. Some vanilla lurking in there. And something a little bit citrusy as well. Some licorice, this time dark licorice. Dark, I should say salty. You know, I forgot to mention the ABV on this one. 46%. I believe it's unchill filtered, and I would say it's likely natural color as well, or at least as close as possible to it. This is very different peat than what they offer in Scotland. In Islay, I should say. Okay, let's try that neat, shall we? Cheers, everybody. It's a much more gunpowdery kind of a peat than what you have on Islay. Sweeter. Burning leaves. Those fall leaves and how they smell. Sweet. and savory. Honey. Lots of honey in here. The flavor, I should say. There's no honey in it. In your mouth, the peat does not hit you right off the bat. But somewhere in the development, you get the pop of peat going on there. And the finish is predominantly dominated by peat. This is fantastic. If you like Islay whiskeys, you will love this. If you're not a peat fan, this is probably not the one for you. But if you don't mind a little bit of peat, give it a try because it's very different. It has still managed to retain a very juicy character to it, so that's a really good sign. Let's put in a good measure of water in there. Whoopsie, I spilled some. That was bad. Okay, how about now? The peat has subsided. We've got a lot more earthy notes going on in here now. Clay and dirt after it's been decomposed for a little while. Anything else? I think that's it for now. Let's try that with water now. Much softer and juicier. The peat has dissipated somewhat, and you're left with enjoying a fruit basket near to a campfire. That's about the best way I can describe this one. There's apples, pears, and honey in there as well. Again, this peat is it's really growing on me. Lovely. So the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for the BenRiach 17-year-old Septendecim, what is it going to be? It's going to be 91 out of 100 for the BenRiach Septendecim and 17-year-old. And that's the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score. Now before I say goodbye, so I've got these glasses full of the BenRiach now. What am I going to do with them? Well, I'm going to take the 16-year-old, which is right here, to which I'm going to add pretty much an equal measure of sherry wood. In it goes. Okay, and then we will take that one, which is now categorized as a 12-year-old because that's the youngest whiskey in the bottle. We will add the Heart of Speyside. There we are. So now what? Well, it's still the BenRiach single malt, Whoops. But now it's a non-age statement. But we know we've got a lot of 16-year-old in there. Now I'm going to try this. I'm going to speed up the marriage here. I'm going to try this as is, and then after that I will add in the Septendecim Peated single malt Speyside whiskey. Whew, I like that. Lots of fruit. Lots of vanilla. Raspberries and strawberries are very, very predominant here. Let's taste it. Cheers, everybody. What a juicy, delicious mixture that is. See, now this is one thing, one way to promote NAS, no age stated whiskeys. You taste it, and the ones that are good, you just simply buy more. And I certainly would buy any of these. Now, I'm not going to add the whole amount of peated whiskey in there, because I think that's going to overpower it. So we'll put in, let's see, a little bit, about maybe half of that amount. There. And we will give that a little bit of agitation. And we'll give it a whiff. Still no real peat to be found. Everything is present here now. How interesting. Cheers to you, and cheers to everybody watching. Now that is something special. I'm gonna add a couple drops more. There we go. This is the Heart of Speyside NAS, the 12-year-old sherry wood finished. Sherry wood matured, I should say. The 16-year-old basic, and a little bit of the 17-year-old Septendecim heavily peated whiskey went into this mix. Oh yeah. You definitely should try this. If you're not crazy about peat, put a drop in. But if you like peat, you can put a few. So how about this conglomerate malt? Pardon the stutter. We're going to give this 91 out of 100. That is the WhiskyWhistle custom-made BenRiach single malt Scotch whiskey with a little bit of peat added in. That just covers all the bases. Very nice. Well, I hope you enjoyed that series, the BenRiach Single Malt Scotch Whisky series from Speyside. I'm going to put a link to the whiskey tasting event as well as the interview with Mr. Stuart Buchanan himself, who talks about a variety of things. And one of the videos also contains his opinions, his thoughts on the Brown-Forman upcoming, well, I guess it's already taken place, but the upcoming takeover by Brown-Forman of the BenRiach. So give that a watch. Send me a comment, and if you have not subscribed yet, you can do so by clicking right down here. And if you think it possible that, yes, I'm a little bit tired, then yeah, you're right. I'm a little tired, and I've had a little bit too much whiskey now. Oh well, it's been for a very good cause. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much.